drives do not fail. The only thing that fails is if you don't check your emails, on a regular basis, on or like once a month on a Hotmail, you get blocked out. So you do lose your account, but that's still saved in the hard drive because that's still archived, no matter what it is.
But they think that people are stupid.
Right, but if you can't get access to your email, just because you can't get access to it doesn't mean that it's not there. It's still there. If you read,
Also, their policy was to make a hard copy.
Right.
So they not only don't have the hard copies, as they required you to save every piece of paper for 7 years, they not only didn't keep the hard copies, apparently, from their testimony, not the boss, not the lowest learner, nobody kept the hard copies, and nobody checked for 2 years.
Yeah. So, it gives you an idea. But yet they're targeting, I have talked with some business owners, talked to some of them, especially Pat Carr, by the way. Pat Carr up in Seattle. I know the person up there directly. There is an Eagle Scout. He was targeted too as well. He had to spend over $250,000 to actually get the IRS off his back. And he got audited 3 times in 2012. 2012 because he gave money to Dave Reicher. He got audited 3 different times the same year. 3 times.
A congressman or a senator got audited who was a conservative, and a friend of mine who was a businessman owed, I didn't remember, they said he owed so much money, and $100,000, I think it was, yeah. And because of his lawyers having him sign some document, and he ended up owing this $100,000. The IRS wouldn't negotiate with him, and he hired lawyer after expert, and for 20 years, and the cost went up to, with the fees and the fines, went up to $1 million. He lost everything: his home, his family, everything. And so this is what they can do to Americans if they don't want to negotiate with you and they target you. His $100,000 that he couldn't afford to pay because of his lawyer went all the way up to $1 million, and he was an emotional wreck, and he was suicidal at some point. So this is what they can do to people through the system when they target you. They cause you financial, physical, and emotional distresses, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, and it stays with you the rest of your life. It not only affects you, it affects your family, and it affects your friends, and you will never be the same again.
Yeah. And that's a violation of because you're not supposed to do that by law. Government, we pay money to the government. They're not supposed to get audited twice in the same year, and they did that. The government can do anything they want to. Why? Because of the government. The government can do anything they want to against the private sector. They can do that. They think they can do that. They think they have a right to do that. But there's a thing called the United States Constitution, and this is why you got organizations like the Digital Watch out there. You have us, the Patriot conservatives out there, who are actually exposing the truth and making sure that these people are held accountable and make sure that it is brought to justice. And if you got a story out there, if you're being targeted from IRS, come on my network. We'd love to have you on. Absolutely. And furthermore, they got Tea Party candidates being called racist. They're being called, here's a great example. What's going on in Missouri right now? Missouri, the Tea Party candidate, and you got a Republican establishment, this Rhino, he's been in there. He's got endorsed by Bob Barr, got endorsed by John McCain, the establishment by John Boehner. We don't need these kind of people anymore. We don't need the establishment anymore. We want strong conservatives. We need Ted Cruz.
It's getting really scary because the news reported that ISIS put a target on Mecca, and that we just had 3 Israeli teenagers. One was a dual citizen of the USA who were murdered. And then we have them targeting Syria, Jordan, and the world, in fact. And and now the Palestinian jihadists are in the news saying they're going to join up with ISIS. And it's interesting because back in 2012, I wrote a blog that went viral warning Americans in the media that Hillary and Obama were sending multi-millions of dollars, which they did a couple of times, to my knowledge, that was in the news, of U.S. tax dollars to the Palestinians linked to Hamas, and that, and then I researched it even further, and Palestinian jihadis seeking unity with ISIS is on WMD exclusive, and that ISIS puts bullseye on Mecca, Medina, and that's a WMD exclusive. So they are actually moving, and they are mocking America and threatening America and Israel, and we should be shutting our borders. We should be busing back all those people that are here, and we should be restricting our immigration to all countries and make them very strict, because we are under the threat of war. And I believe that the war began on 9/11.